You're hot and single, but nobody cares. Chad, who here has actually installed the dating app once? I have, and I used it for about a day, and then I uninstalled it and never installed that shit ever again.
Dating apps suck.
True!
Or do we suck at dating?
No, it's the dating apps. I'm absolutely convinced, because if you took... God, I should let this fucking video talk, but I think it's the dating apps. We suck, but the dating apps don't help.
Every time we turn on the TV, Grandpa makes me watch the Powerball. I hope you enjoyed that.
How did Bumble go from the it girl of the dating apps worth $13 billion to an outdated billboard of cringe?
And ew.
With nearly 93% of value gone, loss after loss after loss,
This is yet another indication of how desperate they are.
did Bumble truly fumble its $13 billion of hot girl privilege? Or, like your toxic ex, is about to come back?
I have too much pride to be on Bumble, okay? Because you're telling me that I not only have to give birth to our potential future children, I have to push a watermelon out of a keyhole, but I also have to message you first? It's not happening.
What the fuck? You have to message first? I don't get it. Why are we upset? Louis Gooba, Gooba, Gooba. Gooba,
I'm not
огромное.
going to feel sorry for myself.
If there was
Plastic
one person born to be
surgery.
hated, it must be dating app founders. Meet Whitney.
So true. Thank you. Holy fuck. They're billionaires that prey on people's fucking inability to talk to each other because COVID happened. I definitely think that Bumble itself isn't like inherently bad, because dating websites existed in like the 90s and 2000s. Like, I remember reading about those and stuff, but like ultimately it's like the swiping thing, and like people just don't care anymore.
Wolfe Herd,
Because
the
of that.
youngest self-made female billionaire with an actual billion. Kylie, Forbes 30 under 30 in 2017 and
Holy!
2018. I didn't even know that was possible. Business Insider's 30 most important women under 30, one of Elle's women in tech, all from capitalizing on the zeitgeist dating woes. Just kidding. Or am I?
Chat, this is why I watch cute VTubers. Holy fuck. I hate women. That's a joke, by the way. I don't hate women. But like, fucking hell, man! Holy shit!
The declining birth rate, dating apps. The high divorce rate, dating apps. The high cheating rate, dating apps. The chronic isolation that's occurring, dating apps. Even male loneliness, fucking dating apps.
Well, let's be honest. The three most hated inventions
Pretty
in this
valid.
era
Yeah.
are
Some valid crash out.
probably Instagram, smartphones, and dating apps. The root causes of all our miseries that made all the founders billionaires.
Bottom line is they're here to make money off of you.
We love to hate them. We hate them, we use them, we complain, we log back in.
This is how making the first move got me the man of my dreams.
Ask me for roleplay in as a slave. Chat, are we okay? Who does this?
According to
Guy showed up to the date with his mom.
Forbes, survey
What?
respondents spend nearly 51 minutes per day on dating apps. Yet, 78% report feeling emotionally, mentally, or physically exhausted by the dating apps, with singlehood on the rise.
What do you... Well, yeah, when you put TikTok, like the TikTok swiping, into the dating world, yeah, people are gonna get fatigued. I get fatigued when I start scrolling Instagram or TikTok for more than 5 minutes.
Another man wasted my time during a talking stage. I honestly don't know if I want to do it anymore.
You went from strangers to going out together as if you're a couple. That's not normal.
What is it that made the dating apps ultra successful and the founders multi-billionaires? An
Instant gratification.
empire, or perhaps a bubble based on love, hate, confusion, and
What's M? What is that? Chat, what's the M? What's the fish in the M? I know this one's Tinder, but like, what is that? Match.com! Yo, Match.com fucking holding strong, huh? What's the fish? Plenty of fish. I've never heard of it, dude.
hope. It's all marketing, babe. It has
Never
been
heard
some
of it.
time since I thoroughly looked through my stock portfolio. Lots of good growth and some thick tuition paid for the stocks I bought as a noob. And one of them has a pretty yellow stripe on it. Because guess who was so excited about the potential of an app called Bumble when it first IPO'd? Yes. 4 years later, the Bumble stocks I
Wow.
bought originally at $61.13 are now worth an impressive $4.27 per share.
Yikes! Woo! I hope you didn't have a lot of that in your portfolio, my lady. If you see this, hot damn, sorry. Holy shit.
Entirely minus 93% of
Wow.
all value lost. Which isn't too surprising, because come think of it, I've actually never gone on a date from this app I felt so optimistic about. Or perhaps was I purple washed by their genius marketing that created a $13 billion bubble and had
Hold on, go back. Purple washing is a term used to describe the practice of using feminist or LGBTQ issues to mask discriminatory or harmful practices. You gonna talk about that?
marketing that created a $13 billion bubble and has now gone from genius to stale.
I've
Stay
never heard
tuned.
of that
The reason
term.
that I want to dive into Bumble specifically is I actually have a lot of respect for the founder, Whitney Wolfe Herd, who is indeed a rare self-made female billionaire and
I respect her ability to make money.
a genius marketer.
If you can genuinely say you are creating something that would help you, that would solve a personal problem, a personal struggle for you, you are going to find success.
I'm really fascinated by the stories of self-made female billionaires, especially the rare women also in tech, because as a mission for the channel, I want more young women like yourselves to see that you are so much more capable than you think. And these stories are the living proofs that these mega successes are not only possible, but also possible for you.
No, I don't want billions of dollars, chat. I don't want that. No, thank you.
Let's get into it. This is a Bumble deep dive no one else is doing. A full-scale dissection into its rise, rebrand, and what went right and very wrong.
You know, when you're on Bumble and you swipe left on someone and it's like, oh, you just missed a match. Thank God.
Moreover, did the dating apps ruin dating, or did we ruin the dating app?
That's so funny. I don't know why that's so funny to me. It's like when you're gambling and it's like you lost $5. It's like, yeah, I know I lost $5. Thank you. I want to keep swiping.
How did the
Why are
once
you telling them
income app
that?
Bumble create $13 billion of value from marketing? Are there strategies to help them regain it girl status? And what is a major problem that no dating app has yet to solve?
And you know what's annoying about the whole $13 billion value? Is the fact that it's not actually real money. It's not $13 billion in actual money that they can, like, quote unquote, cash out. It's just it's a fake number. Yeah, it's a valuation. It doesn't actually mean anything.
2025. I don't know when
That's
as a
why it
society we're gonna
crashed,
collectively agree that the dating apps are a problem.
Watch carefully through the video for all the marketing secrets you can apply to your dreams. As your marketing bestie, who graduated top 1% UCLA Business Economics with a background in marketing, we're going to explore how a
Wait. This bitch worked for PayPal, honey?
economics with a background in
She worked for PayPal, honey? No way! She is good at marketing! Chat! What? PayPal, honey? You don't... Before you say ew and, like, gross, if anything, this is a testament that she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. She's really good at what she's doing.
marketing, we're going to explore how
Damn!
a $13 billion brand can still fail you even if you have the luckiest of lucky girl syndrome, because no brand is impeccable. Now, why is this even relevant to you? Other than the fact that you're part of the statistics that spends 51 minutes a day on dating apps, or you took an L and bought shares of Bumble stock that lost 93% of its value. Which, by the way, can happen to you way easier than you'd imagine, because my
That's
bet
kinda
is
funny.
you're not using a VPN right now. That's literally like putting your stock portfolio password on a billboard or forgetting to wear pants outside. You might be
What do you mean? I go outside all the time with no pants. I'm a fox. I don't need no pants.
surprised who already has that information.
fuck?
All the important stuff like your financial information, your address, should stay private. And that's exactly why I like to browse with Surfshark VPN. That allows
I
just
don't need
one account
pants.
for unlimited services.
Chat,
Literally
you-
buy one, get unlimited free.
You don't wear
Surfshark
pants either.
offers
Look at you.
3,200 plus servers
You don't
in
wear-
over 100 locations.
You don't wear pants.
That keeps you safe, whether you're online dating or not. If you use the internet for anything, you need the 24/7 privacy protection by the award-winning Surfshark
this.
VPN. All the
Whoa.
information is encrypted, blurred out in a way so your online activity is hidden from all the
Blurred
snoopers.
out.
And you can actually buy cheaper travel tickets or stream your favorite shows by easily switching your
Whoa.
IP address. But if you're not sure, they have a flexible 30-day money-back guarantee. Even better, if you go to surfshark.com/Zoe today and use code Zoe at checkout, you get 4 extra months free of Surfshark VPN. It's all about maximum protection of your brand because, well, you may see yourself
You're
one way,
wearing
but how
pants?
does your
I am
dream
right
college,
now.
Dream job, dream boyfriend see you. That's the importance of brand. And yes, you have one. I'm creating this series to analyze pop culture brands from a marketing perspective because I want all of us, yes, all of us can unlock the potential to be or create brands that change our future.
She's good at marketing, man. She's making you think that you can be like that chick. It's impossible. But she's good at it. She knows what she's doing.
Which includes unlocking financial freedom.
Officially becoming the youngest self-made female billionaire. Can you believe
Yes,
it?
queen.
Take a company public.
And guess what? You can already make a huge impact right now. In fact, you get to
Yo, Pouty, thank you for the raid. What's up? We're just watching a video about how... What is the video about? Oh yeah, how dating apps suck and how they suck your balls dry. Yo, welcome on in.
decide what future episodes are about. Just fill out the form to join our free email list of trends, insights, deeper dives, and tell me what is it that you want to learn, whether in business, marketing, personal finance. Whatever you want, if you don't put it down, I won't know you want to learn about it, and I want the series to be as valuable to you as possible and grow it to a
Alright.
production to have guests on like Whitney herself, which will happen if more of you support and share the show. So if you want to give value back, simply give the show a 5-star rating on Apple and Spotify. Share the knowledge with someone you love, because the greatest gift you can give to someone is the power to succeed. And it's completely free for you. We
True.
are going to break this
She's
down
good
into
at this,
clear
man.
eras
For
because
real.
Bumble's trajectory isn't just a
Bumble.
dating app story. It is a marketing case study in brand differentiation, cultural timing, and the risk of losing your edge. But if you had a magic wand,
And again, it peaked in 2021. I honestly believe that if you bought stocks like really, really high in 2021, I think you're kind of a ding dong. Low key, you thought that the bubble would never burst. And I think you did it to yourself, man.
to change one thing about a dating app, what is one feature you will add or take away? I'm personally super curious about this. Drop the comments below. I will pick out my favorite
Especially
answer
with market
and share it on my
oversaturation,
Instagram.
too.
Now, how did dating apps become more like baiting apps?
Less than ideal.
Before the cascade of branding crises, we need to first roll it back to Bumble 1.0, the feminist tech darling. 2014 to 2019. This is how Whitney Wolfe Herd's revenge plot turned into a $13 billion branding masterclass.
Why do we have a feminist dating app but not a meninist dating app? Riddle me that, SpongeBob.
4 key factors.
Girls, guess who's getting excited?
Let's dive into Whitney Wolfe Herd's origin story because, surprise, Bumble didn't start in a garage. It started in the ashes of Tinder drama, tech bro toxicity, and a lawsuit.
That's fine, but like feminist dating app. Why can't we have a meninist one, man? We do Grinder? No, Grinders. I thought Grinder was like kind of like just for gay men. It's called Grinder, and that's how Sabix met Guzu. Chat, like, come on, take me seriously for a minute. I mean this, like, in the sincerest way possible. I thought that it was, like, the LGBTQ dating app. Grinder's for men and only for men. Yeah, but this isn't just from females. This is for men and women, but it's for females, for feminists.
That changed everything.
Also, chat, you're implying that everyone who's a man and gagey is a meninist, and they're not.
Whitney Wolfe Herd probably never guessed that enrolling in the sorority, the Kappa Kappa Gamma, could, as cliche as it sounds, actually change her life. But we're getting a bit too ahead of
sororities.
ourselves. Student of Southern Methodist University of International Studies, Whitney had a natural inclination towards entrepreneurship. At just age 20, she started a business selling bamboo tote bags to benefit areas affected by the BP oil spill. As a natural marketer, she knew that—
Wait. How is that? Benefiting an oil spill by buying bamboo bags? Was she giving it to charity? They likely donated a percentage of profits. Again, very clever use of marketing. I don't know if this is like an actual... Like, again, you could be giving them away for free or something, you know? Like, but you're not. But you're not doing it for free. You're donating profits.
power of associations from her earliest projects by partnering up with celebrity stylist Patrick to launch the nonprofit organization called the Help Us Project. The bags received national press after celebrities such as Rachel Zoe and Nicole Richie were photographed with them. Post-college, she joined the startup Cardify at 22, which was abandoned.
I had just graduated college. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was literally crashing at my mom's house, and all my friends were getting these amazing jobs, and you know, my dad was calling me every day like, what's wrong with you? Where's your job? And so
holy shit! What the fuck? Dude, his dad's a fucking dick. Base dad. I mean, honestly, if my daughter, if I ever have one, or, you know, that kind of thing, if I ever have one, if you don't have a job after a marketing degree and you wasted all my fucking money, yeah, I'd be like, bitch, where's your job? Fucking go to McDonald's.
Oh, I met someone at a dinner, and I basically told him I could do anything he tasked me with.
And fate
bitch, where's my money?
her to joining the development team for the dating app you may or may not have heard of, Tinder. Whitney not only became the co-founder and CMO of Tinder, but she was also reportedly behind the name of the app, taking inspiration from the flame logo and the idea of Tinder, which is easily combustible material used to start a fire. She was in the trenches since day one.
And so I remember, you know, literally getting up on chairs and tables at my old sorority. Surprised they even let me in, but you know, rallying everyone to download it, and then running over to the fraternity house and saying, well, all these women are waiting for you. So it was this really interesting thing.
Literally naming the app, growing its user base on college
I don't
campuses,
believe that.
and designing the hot but wholesome branding.
No, I don't believe that. You want to know why I don't believe that? Is because in college, like, guys, there have been so many, like, lawsuits and stories of men basically doing nothing wrong and then getting into big trouble with those colleges over harassing women. I don't think that happened, but, you know.
Made Tinder
maybe
go viral. But the startup dream turned sour really quickly. Whitney was dating one of the Tinder co-founders. Bad idea.
Uh-oh, stinky dating co-workers.
Number one. And after they broke up, things got ugly. Really ugly. She was allegedly harassed, sidelined, and eventually forced out.
It was devastating. And what could I do? I couldn't do anything.
In 2014, she sued Tinder's parent company for sexual harassment and discrimination. The case settled privately, but the headlines did their job. Whitney, by default, became the face of everything wrong with bro-centric tech culture. And suddenly, she had the kind of PR setup you literally can't buy.
The Me Too movement, yeah.
So what does she do next? She teams up with Andrea Andreev, the founder of Badoo, a Euro dating giant who gives her funding and infrastructure. And in 2014, the very same year she resigned from Tinder and filed a lawsuit, Bumble is born, a dating app where women make the first move. This was one of the most
such a terrible idea. I ain't gonna hold you. Women making the first move is so bad, and ask me how I know. Getting anything done as a VTuber and asking for collabs is like impossible. You have to like strangle people and be like, hey, can you respond please any day now?
Most seamless and beautiful marketing campaigns I've ever seen, whether unintentional or strategically planned. It hit 4 genius marketing factors. First, the ultimate underdog narrative.
I was getting rape threats, death threats. I mean, all sorts of horrible behavior, and it felt like they were in my living room. It felt like they were in my bedroom.
Let's be
That's because you're reading them on your phone in your bedroom and your living room. Yeah. Show proof? No, let's take this at face value. Let's just say that did happen. I don't like this premise of like, it didn't happen because there's no proof. Okay, hold on. What if what if it did happen? I've had people harass me and send me death threats and emails and stuff. I have. My biggest issue is I don't fucking cry and say, oh my god, it's happening in my living room and my bedroom and it feels like it's in my head. It's like, well, I can turn them off and not listen to them. Like, she's looking them on her phone while she's scrolling on her phone and then wonders why she feels bad about it. Yeah, put the fucking phone down, man.
Whitney's exit from Tinder was the PR gift.
You make billions or millions of dollars. Why the fuck do you give a fuck about some fucking troglodyte online telling you to kill yourself?
I kept giving.
Like,
she sued Tinder
what?
for sexual harassment and gender discrimination. Then launched a direct competitor that flipped the power dynamic on its head. Women make the first move. A story sells, and hers was irresistible. It's literally turning trauma into branding, a compelling market position.
That's a terrible idea. Emotion into branding is not a good idea. No, I disagree, but I mean, they did make... Maybe I don't fucking know a damn thing, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. I just think that trauma into marketing is so... It is for selling things. Maybe if you're an emotional person, that kind of thing drives you, but I think it's weird. I don't know.
Seems...
Things being sad, but like trauma... I don't know.
Groundbreaking. Bumble was marketed as the safe space for women in dating, friendships, and eventually networking. Hence, the second factor, perfect product market fit.
I'm downloading.
Definitely. That I'll agree with. The Me Too movement definitely peaked around about 2012 to 2015 and 16. I'll agree that. I think it just kind of fell into its lap, and that's probably why it became extremely popular.
Bumble.
No marketer can escape the curse or blessing of timing. And for Bumble 1.0, it was a God-given blessing. To not leverage this lucky girl syndrome would have been a disgrace. Bumble.
You think companies hire psychologists to not find out how to profit off trauma? No, I think I phrased it poorly at the start. I don't think in the long term, marketing something to be a quote-unquote safe space that no one else is allowed into except for the people that feel similar is a good marketing brand, because because if you're not a woman and you're a man going into this what is it called, this dating space, you have to brand yourself as, I'm not one of those guys that would rape you. I'm not one of those guys that would stalk you. Do you know what I mean? Like, that kind of word of mouth spreads that you're on this app in the long term that basically branded itself as a way for women to talk to non-creeps. which eventually leads you down the pipeline of like, oh, well, all men are creeps, even if they're using this app. You know, that mentality becomes perpetuated, if that makes sense. They help you short-term with trauma, and they keep you long-term with forms of marketing. Well, but yeah, I agree the short-term works for a function to getting women into it, but at the end of the day, what kind of man wants to be in a space? Obviously, what if this is a lesbian-oriented marketing group or marketing team for the dating company? That's fine. Okay, sure, that's a marketing niche, but you're not going to get the audience for males, and you're gonna have a downward spiral and trajectory because you're not getting the audience, the broader demographic audience of just males who think they're not bad people, and it's just kind of like weird.
It wasn't just an app, it was a movement. It's
I'll let him cook. I
lined
talked
up
way
with
too
the peak
much.
of the hashtag MeToo movement, which began to spread virally through the Harvey Weinstein case in 2017.
Yeah,
By
big
December
deal.
2015, the app had reached over 50 million conversations and 80 million matches. And as of November 2017, Bumble had over 22 million
That's a
registered
lot.
users. By
That's a
January
lot.
2018, CNBC reported that Badoo was seeking a sale that could value the company at about $1.5 billion. And by 2020,
And I saw this really cute guy on there, so I swiped right and we matched right away.
Bumble hit over 100 million users worldwide. Then the $13 billion
I definitely did see the uptick of people talking about Bumble, Tinder, and Grindr back in 2020 for sure. Again, I do have to say that dating apps in 2020 was insane. Everyone was using them.
in valuation after listing the shares on Nasdaq exchange in 2021. And that was exactly when I bought my overpriced stock. Suddenly, Bumble became a female empowerment brand, a social statement. And so did many other brands that recognized purple washing is pretty damn profitable. Companies like Dove, CoverGirl, and Swiffer have used feminism to advertise their products, but were notorious for
Hold on. Wait.
And Swiffer
wasn't this do you guys know what I'm talking about with this was a World War II like propaganda poster. This isn't like yeah, like yeah, Rosie the Riveter, is that what it was called? I remember Rosie. Yeah, I wouldn't tie it to feminism. I think to me this screams World War II propaganda.
have used feminism to advertise their products, but were notorious for perpetuating unrealistic beauty standards or traditional gender roles. Famous women athletes are used as examples of quote-unquote girl power in advertisements, yet only 0.4% of total commercial investment in sports goes into women's sports.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I just had this flash of like Asmongold talking about the NBA and then the WNBA, and then I thought to myself, it's like, yeah, because nobody's watching them. Again, no disrespect to these women that are like, you know, doing sports, but there's very likely a reason tied to why there's not that many people sponsoring them or giving them money. Like,
because here's what they won't tell you. We already have it.
To what extent was it genuine?
why was she on an empty, like... What? Why did they put her on an empty tennis court with no watchers?
For Bumble? And would it eventually bite the brand back? Stay tuned for the next era. But another success factor? Third,
Yeah, or an
insane
opponent for
brand
that matter.
consistency. Just like personal branding for iconic artists like Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, in the digital world of pixels, a brand without a signature look or color is a waste of internet space to be destroyed in an algorithm tsunami. The yellow branding, the busy bee metaphor, the girl boss energy of Bumble. Every single touchpoint screamed, we are not Tinder. What was more advantageous was that Whitney herself, as the founder, served as the perfect ambassador. She wasn't hiding behind the app, she was the app. Young, stylish, articulate, TED Talk ready, she was the girl boss Gen Y wanted to swipe right on, and her association, or should I say, direct embodiment of the brand, made it aspirational. The it girl so rare in entrepreneurship, let alone tech entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it is true. It's very rare for female CEOs to exist. I truly believe, I know this might be kind of a hot take, but in order to be a CEO at this level and own a multi-billion-dollar company, or used to own one, I think you have to have a degree of sociopathy as a woman, because women are inherently very emotional, and this chick knew what she wanted, and she wanted money, and she wanted it bad. She knew there was a gap in the space, and I also believe she's very smart.
Wolfe Herd.
Yeah, you have to be a man on the inside, and not in a bad way. I mean, like, you have to have a very male, step over bodies kind of fucking mentality, and not a lot of women can think like that.
Whitney gave Bumble this
"You have to have no soul." That's not true. That's not true. Men have souls.
Unique halo of an it girl in the apps. Bumble
Men are
wasn't
just more
the it girl
ruthless.
in dating apps. Bumble
It's
was
not a bad
the it
thing.
girl of all the apps, the it girl of tech, the it girl of STEM, the it girl of business. But what was even smarter, that
Yes,
will blow
pick
your
me.
mind, was fourth, her extremely creative expansion strategy that brings us full circle into
Okay.
her sorority experience. As Steve Jobs said, the dots will always connect in retrospect, which is why my mantra is no effort will ever go to waste. Whether that's in business, in relationships, anything. You either win or you learn, which is also a win. And never
True, very true, very good mentality to have. That's a very good point. Yeah, if 1% better every day, in 100 days you'll be 100% better, even if you fail.
Never have Whitney Wolfe Herd probably dreamt that her sorority experience brought Tinder, then Bumble, to life. Why is it that so many new apps fail? And why is it that it's almost impossible to create another dating app, despite the fact that all the current ones don't work too well?
I'm crashing out.
First, the product and algorithm dilemma.
I don't like dating apps.
They're not fun, spontaneous, or sexy, and I really think that my 20s should be fun, spontaneous, and sexy.
Well, you're swiping on your phone. How can you make that sexy and spontaneous? Do you need to, like, you know what would be spontaneous and sexy, chat? I just thought about it. If you, like, swipe right on Tinder or, like, Bumble or whatever, and you just get to see that guy's, like, fucking junk in, like, in a Speedo or something. That would be very spontaneous and sexy. I bet people would really like that.
Really annoyed.
Which we will touch on in
What? It is spontaneous and sexy. Yeah, like, you get to see their junk in a Speedo.
the end on one obvious and one hidden reason. That's why dating apps don't quote unquote work. And if
people watch too many Hallmark movies. Actually true. These girls complaining on TikTok, they're like, oh my god, I'm just so sick of swiping right and left, and like, then I have to like talk to this guy. I just want it to like happen naturally. Well, then go outside, bitch.
there is a way to counter both fatal flaws. Second, monopolization and first mover advantage. The first mover advantage is a strategic business concept where the initial entrant in a market gains a competitive edge due to being first to introduce a product, service, or technology.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
IDK is striking my chain.
Oh my god. Okay, that made me laugh. That was a good marketing fucking, like, whoever did that, that's so good.
You?
I do now.
This is due to five.
IDK Rafflecopter. Chad, do you believe in love at first sight? Omega lol, lol w, lol, lol. Like, maybe I should make a dating app for like Twitch users, bro. That'd be so good.
Hindering products for the latecomers. First, strong brand recognition. Being the first to market can help establish a strong brand identity and make the company synonymous with the product or service. For example, we often say, oh, I'll just Uber it to somewhere, when in reality, we're using Lyft or other services. Second, customer loyalty. Early adopters can develop strong loyalty to first mover, making it harder for competitors to gain market share. Why down?
Oh my god, wait. That applies to VTubers. Chat. That applies to VTubers and streamers. We have the perfect example right now. Asmongold and Kirshi are on vacation. I'm still streaming. If Bumble and Tinder died overnight, people would go to another app. If Asmon or Kirshi start streaming, I would automatically lose viewers because those people are loyal to those people. But you know, there's like other options if there's not another thing available. Yeah, because they came first. You might like me, you might not hate me, you like them, obviously. But I'm not your first choice, but I also have a loyal base that does watch me over someone else. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, by the way, I'm not shaming you for like liking someone else more than me. I'm just saying there are other people that come first. Yeah. Alana's babysitting as reviews. No, like truly, I kind of am. Yeah. It's just how it is.
Download another app when the current one you have solves the problem.
Exactly.
Early market share. First movers can capture a significant portion of the market before competitors enter, potentially leading to a dominant position. Remember, Bumble was launched after Tinder already took off, and Hinge also existed a year before, which leads to the network effect. A dating app, just like a social media app, is dependent on social behavior, which is why it's almost impossible to build another Instagram. The network effect describes how the value of a product or service.
That's why it's hard to build another Twitch. That's why YouTube and Twitch are also very separate. Even though they're competitors, they're very separate in a lot of ways.
Increases as more people use it, creating a self-reinforcing cycle where the growth leads to further growth and vice versa. Surely a cooler social media app can be created, but it will never catch up to the self-reinforcing skill of Instagram. And for a dating app, it's all the more hard when you inherently need users to make the features work. But to start from 0 user, while the other apps like Tinder already have 50 million active users, and Hinge at the time had 1/5 of the market share, it really feels like Bumble was trying to catch up to a Lambo and a Ferrari that drove off last week by going on foot. And fifth, price premium. In the absence of competition, first movers may be able to charge higher prices, leading to increased profitability, which better squeezes out competition, which is
or in shitification, you make it free or cheap at first and then you start squeezing them. The loyal users that we were just talking about.
Is also why in the early days, to compete for first mover advantage, companies like Uber gave crazy discounts and incentives.
DoorDash too!
Before killing off competition, then raising their prices. I kid you
not. Shitification, lady, that's the word. I don't know if you're... I think this lady's too PC to say it, but that's called shitification. Yeah. GPT is definitely gonna squeeze the planet in 5 years. No, absolutely. Mark my words. In 5 years, ChatGPT is gonna start charging you per fucking prompt or something. Per question. Oh, you need more credits. You need more credits for answers now.
Not one
they already
time,
do that, but you know what I'm saying.
Uber location from LAX to LAX, and it literally tried to charge me $50 to move 6 feet. So
Jesus,
how in the world
dude,
did Whitney and her team even create the slim chance of fighting in the ring of existing giants? Curiosity, and culture. Quote, I remember we would make these signs that had the big X's, you know, like you're not allowed to. And they said no Facebook, no Instagram, no Snapchat, no Bumble. This was week 3 of Bumble, and we would post those all over the university. So there was this association where it was, wait, I can't do all the things I really want to do. I want to sit in class and Snapchat. I want to sit in class and Instagram. What the hell is Bumble? And so we were essentially seeding this psychological curiosity, and then to capture more organic attention.
Then we were actually sending young women wearing Bumble shirts into class.
See, I don't understand this at all. Yeah, guerrilla marketing. I'm uneducated on this. I can't comment. I don't understand this at all. I'm not a fucking... That's strong? I don't get it. Like, wearing Bumble shirts into class, I feel like that's so dumb, but, like, I'm also kind of autistic, so I feel like I could see right through that. I'd be like, this is cringe.
Is 10 or 15 minutes late, interrupting a class of 300 people and saying, oh, sorry, wrong room. But everyone's looking at this young woman or young man, whoever it was, wearing a Bumble t-shirt. So we were seeding curiosity in this, like, why is Bumble everywhere type of thing.
On top of which, Bumble was really one of...
It's like really like vanilla CIA tactics. I don't know.
The first brands to really leverage meme accounts with millions of following and reach. I actually know one of the top girl culture meme creators, millions of followers on Instagram, and
what the fuck? Meme culture greeters?
She helped blow
Chad, this
up
is beyond
Bumble
me.
back in their growth days.
This is aggressively millennial. I actually am losing I'm losing the grasp of what she's talking about.
Is by doing viral meme posts that literally costed Bumble only a few $100s.
When you and your bestie, what now? Best friend have opposite taste in men? And this is a Bumble meme? I just... You're not a normie? I guess so! I guess I'm a little bit, like, on the spectrum. When I went to college, I saw a ton of Monster and Red Bull shirts everywhere. I understand what you're saying, but, like, to me, it's so stupid. I know what you're talking about, and, like, I know what you're saying, and I know that's, like, an actual marketing tactic, but, like, it never worked on me, so, like, I'm not the target demographic of, like... It's like steak, just throw their shit on the image. I guess.
Where the earned media value
was... It's like a forced meme. Like, when you see a meme and you're just like, yeah, this is forced. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Way over hundreds of thousands, if not millions, because this was before influencer marketing was really a thing for faceless accounts. Thus, they were able to really appeal to a highly targeted audience at super low cost. What's more genius about Whitney's marketing strategy is that she didn't waste her energy targeting everyone, because if you target everyone, you target no one. She picked out the best C group to start her own network effect with
college women, white women in particular,
just like Mark Zuckerberg did with Facebook with college students.
Get ready with me to go on a first date.
And this
is cut her off, but chat, college people are easily influenced. Is that what we're trying to basically boil it down to?
Was already tested in her Tinder days, where as a freshly graduated college student with sorority and Greek life connection, Whitney infiltrated into the student body and converted them into users.
Where have I heard that before? Like the government, like psyoping college students into doing what they want? Yeah, it's because they're legally able to coerce people at that point because they're adults. They're 18 years old, like they're not considered children.
Not to say only I could do this or only somebody else could do this, but there was a superpower in the timing of it all because I had just graduated. I knew all of these people. So if some random startup founder knocks on a sorority door, the police are coming. You can't do
Yeah, we watched a video literally 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. That talked about psyoping Cuban students against their own government.
So I felt like
it's not far-fetched.
Insider hook, right? Because I was technically an extension of that by proxy because I had just been on the college campus and all of my girlfriends were still there.
And then she put a very attractive female and male student's face on a Tinder screen with the caption, "Find out who likes you on campus.
And I printed 1,000 copies. And I quite literally handed different students on campus $20 to go distribute them under dorm doors and to put them on windshields and to put them, you know, in their different social clubs and to...
So if I want more viewers, I should start printing like Smugalana fucking like posters and be like, who is this fucking fox? It won't work on everyone, but it'll work on people.
Essentially distribute these flyers
everywhere. Yeah, have you seen this dumb bitch?
Custom t-shirts that her girlfriends wore to the bar that essentially said, don't ask for their numbers, just download the app.
Oh my god, no way. Yeah, Buchron, thank you for the 25, man. Thank you so much. Advertising's everything. Again, I don't think like anime waifus are really college demographic. I would say like anime waifus is more like 25 plus. Definitely. There are people who are 18 and they love anime, but it's very small. At least initially. Technically, yeah, it can work, but you're not guaranteed. No, but like it would still work because a lot of people would look because they're curious.
Sheer amount of creativity and
and they're stupid
of these tiny little campaigns is just next level. And Whitney herself said, quote, and so a lot of people think I can just go start an app and I'll just buy some Instagram ads and I'll just be successful. But if people only knew the fraction of the insane everyday little hacks that I did and our team did to bring this to life. And this is the art of marketing. To not just follow the blueprint and learn ads manager on Meta, but think about the nuanced ways to actually effectively reach the ideal customer base, which if done once to dinner, sure, you can call that luck, but done twice to growth hack Bumble as well. Regardless,
Smart.
Think about the app, the founder, the initial branding and marketing are iconic. And beyond just the tactical side of growth hacking against existing giant companies, the product itself on Bumble made it distinguishable, regardless of how effective the features.
Holy! Mohron, thank you for the 10 and the 5. I really appreciate it. Guys, W gifted. Thank you so much. I was into anime from undergrad to grad school. I know, but you're probably the exception, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think normies really are into anime. Even though anime and manga and, like, you know, anime games are essentially mainstream at this point, I still think that there's a very much of, like, a barrier.
Really are or are not, that's a whole separate issue. Part of their smart expansion plan was the introduction of Bumble BFF and Bumble Biz, positioning themselves as a relationship platform, not just a hookup app.
And when COVID hit, this was such an immense, like, marketing tool that just popped off on its own. You know, like, it's just lightning hit and it just, catching lightning in a bottle kind of moment.
Another Bumble BFF date, and that's what a girl's gotta do, okay? I need to make friends.
We're just like building a strong personal brand. Bumble was playing the long game of developing trust through building goodwill. But despite the 4 marketing wins, exciting story of the underdog with perfect product market fit, insane brand consistency, and creative expansion strategy, every action has a reaction. And below the glory of Bumble 1.0 also had 2 major ticking time bombs that will lead to their branding crisis.
You guys are gonna think this is crazy.
The first
me personally, I can tell you that Bumble, Tinder, and Grindr and Hinge, I think it was, they all kind of just melded into one fucking just stupid ass dating app conglomerate that I never engaged with, and I never could distinguish them from one another. I don't know, but again, definitely I think dating apps are definitely more normie oriented, but like I just didn't really get into it.
Warning was leaning too hard into the men are the problem narrative.
Thank you. Okay, she does address it. Well, I addressed this at the start, but
Bumble's initial differentiation worked because it framed women as in control, but at some point it felt like Bumble was scolding its male users. You can't alienate half of your audience and expect
the audience that you're targeting too. Like it's I said this with Grindr. Why would the fuck would you start like shitting all over the people that you're trying to make money off of? It never works, never has, never will.
Engagement to stay very high. And if half the users don't find the experience enjoyable, you'd find a major matching problem.
Bumble is a stupid app.
Correlated with the second branding warning of not innovating fast enough. It almost felt like the biggest revolution of Bumble was making women make the first move, which some women prefer not to.
And also women inherently don't really want to because they are women. How are you going to break the psychology and the evolution that's been around for thousands, if not millions of years? Cancelled? I'm not! I'm just saying there are very few women that want to make the first move.
Showed that 86% of women say they want a man to make the first move.
Wow, look at that!
Even when the app requires them to make the first move, they still don't want to make the first move.
And B does not actually solve the matching rate issue nor the success rate after two people match.
Women are so scared. I can this is an anecdotal experience. I remember in middle school I had a group of friends that told me that a guy likes me. And I remember thinking to myself, holy shit, my friends just confirmed that the guy that I like likes me. And then I never made the first move because I was too scared. I was a boy in my school. I think I was like 13, and I found out, and they said no bullshit. Like he likes you, Alana. He actually likes you. I know it's crazy. You're fucking stupid. Who would like you? But like Alana, he likes you. Please, like just go over there and walk over to him and say hi. And I'm like,
Hell no.
and guess what happened? He had to fucking walk up to me and say hi, and I was like, oh my god, hi. And she never did. No, I never did, but like I still liked him.
The app experience barely changed, while Hinge ate their lunch with video prompts, voice notes, and better matchmaking algorithms. But there was no time to worry because Bumble 2.0, the IPO high, was calling for a worrisome celebration.
We are building something for the long term. You're not joining us on our journey today just for tomorrow. You are signing up for our very long road ahead of us to try and make relationships healthier and more equitable. And to build a brand that resonates not just with women, but makes connections better for everyone.
I want to make a joke so fucking bad. I'ma say it. Women talking stocks go down. Women talking on screen. Dump it, motherfucker. Dump it.
Build a brand that resonates not just with women, but makes connections better for everyone.
$13 billion valuation, feminist Wall Street icon moment. It seems like the Bumble universe was invincible, but the cracks were forming. In this era, both Whitney and Bumble's Lucky Girl syndromes were peaking high, with two
Holy moly, 13 billion. Did this guy... What is wrong with this guy? He said he'd stop, and then he... Moron, what the frick, man? 100 clams, and he says, send link to gift cup. Buddy! You should invest in stocks instead! Mods, what the fuck is the link to the cup? I don't even know. Anyway, let's fuck buy the cup right now. He took a break. Guys, please take care of yourself over the stupid fox girl.
Notable success factors, while the hidden cracks soon to become hidden gaps. The first marketing win was, of course, hitting 100 million users worldwide in 2020, then going public as a female-led tech company, which topped $13 billion in valuation after listing shares on the NASDAQ exchange. Whitney became the youngest female CEO to take a company public, and she did it with her
That's the first mistake, taking your company public.
18-month son on her hip as she rang the NASDAQ bell. This wasn't just a winning moment for Whitney. This wasn't just a winning moment for Bumble. This was a winning moment for women. The underdog that every woman and ally supported finally got the crown of the deserving it girl boss babe. Moreover,
The girl that made the most money. Round of applause.
the second marketing win is our old friend timing of the market again. With the COVID lock-in love surge that made every single lonely person ever more lonely in a physical and emotional pandemic.
Twitch absolutely popped off in 2020.
All the dating apps thrived, and it was a great time for the macro landscape. And Bumble capitalized on it with video dating features and branding that leaned into slow dating. But as they say, the higher you rise, the harder the fall. Because by 2021, the B seems to hit a hard wind through first, loss of cultural relevance. By 2021, Bumble's branding felt stale.
Chat, honest to God, nobody uses, let's be realistic, nobody here uses Tinder, but at least we know what the word Tinder means. If I say Bumble or Hinge, like, some people will be confused, and I think that's like the cultural zeitgeist of the effect that Tinder is kind of the kingpin.
Feminist dating app hook wasn't feeling fresh anymore. The repetition of feminist sounding ad began to feel overdone, thus inauthentic. And Gen Zs weren't resonating with it the same way millennials did.
Bumble is not
and Bumble is very much millennial coded. I can definitely see that.
not for the girls.
Do not go on Bumble.
Why should I have to start the conversation? I liked your profile.
And that's a huge problem because as with any product...
Yeah, because... wait, that makes so much sense. All the millennial women, all their eggs dried up and they stopped using Bumble, so their marketing, the population went down. So now Gen Z is left holding the bag and they're like, we don't want this, man.
Or service, there is always a churn. So in order to stay profitable, you need to acquire new users. As more and more mature demographics settle down or stop using dating apps, the future of the app depends on the affinity with future generations. And as Gen Z myself, I could say that Bumble was more of a niche app as compared to Hinge in the last 5 years. Which
I still don't know what Hinge is, I'm not gonna lie.
Competition. Hinge was skyrocketing with better UX with a catchy and hopeful phrase made to be deleted.
When you find the real thing, you won't need us anymore, which is kind of the point.
Which is also very debatable.
Wait, what? What's Hinge? Does anybody know?
The League and Riot.
Is that? They're all owned by the same company now, by the way. Yes, they all bought themselves out. You're completely right. It's just another dating app? What the hell is the deleting thing?
Catering to the elites, there are all these other apps dedicated to specific racial demographics and non-heterosexual relationships, and Tinder was still the go-to for casual dating. Bumble was stuck in the middle. Sure, it's great to feel empowered as a woman user, but if another app ultimately comes up with a better solution with dating, whether it's higher quality matches or simply more users, then making women move first doesn't seem too much of a privilege anymore. It seems almost like a chore. Thus, not surprisingly, third, the stock crashes really left a dent on Bumble's public image.
Good.
The market is really interesting. It does not automatically readjust like a magical invisible hand that it's supposed to. Often, optimism leads to more optimism leads to more optimism, hence a bubble until it bursts.
And then people become less confident and they start fucking selling. It is so hard to stop a bleed out.
Pessimism leads to more pessimism leads to more pessimism until something is so undervalued.
Grindr never had this issue. So true, King. You wanna know why? Because there's no women on it.
Successful opportunists buy low and make a ton of profit, then that leads to a new wave of optimism. That is if the subject actually has intrinsic value higher than perceived. In Bumble's case, though, the IPO hype faded and user engagement started dropping. Bumble's stock price plummeted from $75 to under $15 by 2023. Investors started questioning if it's a real growth company or just a good PR story, aka me. So for the first time, the underdog princess that everybody has been rooting for is now beginning to seem like a poser who just has a pretty story. And with that, leads to the perfect storm of a branding crisis. Bumble 3.0 Desperation.
What the fuck?
Bumble is in its we're trying everything phase. New leadership, a less radical feminist tone, and an attempt to win Gen Z.
The millennial employees trying to market the Gen Z. Oh, I'm gonna die of cringe. Chad, these people make more money than the McDonald's workers, bro.
Except while it is trying to be the
Sad.
cool feminist cousin at brunch, it is 2025 and it's still showing up in 2017 merch, quoting Sheryl Sandberg. What really went wrong? That let a $13 billion brand lose over $12 billion.
Holy!
How did the once
90% crash
remain only $467 million market cap as of
That's because its true value came to be.
April 2025? And how did Bumble go from our favorite it girl to cringe girl?
What a disaster this was for Bumble.
Two major branding crises. The first one related to culture. Well, the irony of success is that it
what
leads
is
to
it? Lay it on
complacency,
me.
which leads to failure, which produces learning, which leads to success, that leads to, again, complacency. And
That's what happens with video games like World of Warcraft with Blizzard Activision. Like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft in general. Yeah, complacency. Overwatch too. They got complacent and someone took the competition. That's how Marvel Rivals popped off. I can't believe I'm such a loser. I'm likening dating apps to video games. Holy fuck, what am I doing?
unfortunately, Bumble was stuck in complacency before the 2020s way too long. Before now, frantically trying to rebrand. Except, how is the timing this time? Is it still lucky girl syndrome? Or more of a curse? How did Bumble become Fumble? We first need to understand why it really needs this rebrand. First, it got stuck in girl boss mode, and the internet moved on. Bumble's
Yeah, and the culture shifted. I don't know if she'll address this. Again, I don't pre-watch videos at all. It's just like I speak my mind as I'm thinking about it while I'm watching the video. The culture has definitely shifted, and Gen Z has shifted away from millennials more than ever.
entire brand identity was built during the era
Fucking
of
unk.
millennial pink, and the future is female tees. Back then, women make the first move felt fresh, disruptive, even empowering. Now, it's giving live, laugh, LinkedIn. Gen Z
That's pretty good. Lip laughed LinkedIn. That's aggressively millennial for sure.
doesn't really want to be marketed like an adult ad. The whole aesthetic felt like corporate feminism cosplay. Second, the app experience feels like
Well, that's because everybody that liked that kind of stuff moved away from it, and now it feels fake and forced. It didn't evolve. And this is ultimately, chat. Honestly, I could sum this up in 2 words. Corporate propaganda. They cater to you because they'll think they'll get money out of you, and when it fails and they don't adapt, then it's ultimately on them, and that's why they lose money.
a group project where no one's texting back.
So, do you
Nobody
want
wants
to meet up
us.
this weekend?
You match, you message, you wait, you question everything, you unmatch. And if you don't message within 24 hours, the match disappears. Like love wasn't hard enough already. Now it's on timer, leading to an even lower success rate. Hence,
Yeah. That's one thing Gen Z and millennials have in common is like anxiety and social anxiety. You think that's gonna induce people into responding? No, that's gonna make them shut down even more.
lower customer satisfaction, hence lower active user, hence lower annual recurring revenue, hence lower valuation. Third, men don't know what to do, and women are tired of doing it all.
Dating is
What?
exhausting.
The women message first rule puts pressure on one side, but here's the problem. Some don't respond, others respond weird.
Look at the last guy. Now look at me. Back to the last guy. Now to me. Look down. Now look up. Where are you? You're with the man of your dreams on Bumble.
Just like any other dating apps. And women, they were out there opening with witty lines, curating bios like personal brand decks, only to get a hey back.
Oh my god.
I will never understand normies. I will never understand them. My brain actually just broke. What do you mean you have a bio that's like engineered. What?
It's giving, quote, I wanted equality, not a customer service row. Fourth, it's trying.
But the dating app was created because men are creeps. Of course they're just gonna respond with the most bland way imaginable because they don't want to freak you out. What?
Too hard to be more than it is.
So funny.
We need to have a very candid discussion about Bumble BFF. It's weird.
Bumble wants to be your dating app, your networking tool, your platonic soulmate finder, your social impact movement. But instead of doing one thing great, it's doing three things mid. Late to the party, Hinge has already claimed the relationship app space, and Tinder still dominates casual dating. Bumble's niche isn't very clear anymore. It's not a cutting-edge dating app, and there's already Instagram, Snapchat, iMessage, everything else for friendship, and of course LinkedIn for career.
And also compartmentalizing people as friends. Like, I don't know how it works on Bumble, but I imagine they ask you about your job or your political leanings. Maybe they make you take a quiz on what you think of certain topics. And it's that's not how people talk. You don't just bring up oh, hey, who did you maybe vote for in 2010? It's it's none of your business, bitch. The fuck?
Brand was too focused on telling a killer story. It forgot the fundamental law of marketing, that even the best marketing needs a product to sell. If you put crap on a silver platter,
true,
it's still crap.
Like a genuine fucking problem that have infiltrated society and disrupted human behavior and preying on human psychology.
People might buy it once, but we all know the story of the boy who cried wolf, with way too many dating apps fighting for paid subscribers and Bumble not offering enough unique value. Of course, it leads to subscription fatigue. With a quarter-over-quarter decline of approximately 60,000 paying users in Q4, with management anticipating a steeper drop of 100,000 to 120,000 in Q1 this year. Bumble never stood out as the app to win from a product angle. Its competitive advantage was its cultural relevancy. But since radical feminism, Me Too, was out, then the only way to go is 180, right?
And that's ultimately the funniest part about this, is that Bumble's, I guess their marketing team or their company in and of itself thinks that they're going to change the world, when in reality the world's changed, they stayed the same, and they can't make money off of it, therefore the business goes down. My brain keeps flipping back to video games and how the video game essence has shifted over time, and now it might even flip back again to the 2010s at this point. Yeah, they refuse to adapt and die, and then they wonder why they're not making money, and it's well, if they didn't make money in the first place and that wasn't the goal, I don't think they would have failed that badly, to be honest. They're too obsessed with the short term and didn't give enough thought to the long term. I wouldn't even say that. I just don't think they gracefully changed their attitude towards their target demographic.
Bumble went for a rebrand that gave desperation.
Yeah, you can talk about movies too. Yeah.
Its big innovation, where women no longer need to make the first move. Then it launched a few warm and welcoming celibacy ads.
You know full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer. Thou shalt not give up on dating and become a nun. No, you can't. No. People. Do we not understand that Christianity and religion is still a big fundamental part of America? Atheism is not the predominant what is it called, a religious stance for people. Cast aside Christianity, being a Muslim or being a Buddhist or whatever. What are we actually talking about? Theology is a very integral thing and part of the culture of most countries, I would say. Are we serious? You shouldn't be so condescending. That's how you definitely, like, lose part of your demographic. Even the people that don't talk about it, they'll be like, this is kind of weird, like, celibacy.
That read, quote, "You know full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer."
It's not okay to shit on religion unless it's Christianity. Counterpoint. Yeah, I agree that there is a certain demographic of people that say that kind of shit. And they are okay with it. But at the end of the day, they did lose a big demographic. Yeah, it's safe, edgy. I agree. I totally agree. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that they did lose money on this. Therefore, it wasn't okay. Because people made headlines on it. Like, even I remember, like, reading about it, and it's like, oh, this is kind of weird. Like, why would you specifically, like, target a specific theology and a group of people that are very likely a big demographic of, like, in your dating app in your country? Because, like, Bumble, I think, is, like, largely American, too.
Sir. Or, quote, "Thou shalt not give up on dating and become a nun." Neither of these landed very well.
I'm
shocked. And made all the
I'm
marketing
shocked.
effort of Bumble
I'm not.
in its glorious days a cheap act. As an app built on being a safe place for women, this sudden rebrand by completely removing their core feature and then going for such a bold but opposing view feels like it will do anything and everything to get a new user.
Basically address women in the most misogynistic way possible.
And completely sold out. That the brand.
And by the way, celibacy is not even necessarily a thing for being a Christian. What if you just don't want to have sex and it's because of your own moral virtues? Yeah, even if you even take out the part that's about Christianity, like what's wrong with that? Like, this doesn't mean that you're a Christian. Just what if you don't want to? Yeah, exactly. What if you don't want to get diseases or, like, risk STDs before you settle down? There are some people like that feel that way.
Has no backbone and will swing with whichever direction it's guessing the culture is going. Except trying to be cheeky came across as shaming women and
condescending
a huge slap to the face to their prior years of brand building.
Kind of dropped the ball.
Was a rebrand necessary? Absolutely. They can't keep using the same 2017 millennium feminism, but a rebrand is about making things refreshing, not shitting on your core brand value, especially when appearing so desperate to get people dating that they are calling anyone who doesn't a nun and killing
that's
only
weird,
innovation that women move first. Quote, "It is sad what has happened to this app." Quote, "It has become a place of crickets." Quote, "Horrible money grabbing app."
But that's what it was from the start. It's just that you had a thick blanket over your eyes that you now see because they actually became forefront and, like, it became front and center. Yeah, the gold rush is over. They made their money, like, and now it's like whatever at this point. If they recover, that's great, but, like, they're gonna try and do anything to, like, get that demographic back, or at least some people back.
The second branding crisis is related to the bigger picture problem, where not just Bumble, Match Group, the company behind Tinder, OkCupid, Hinge, Grindr, and Plenty of Fish, has also seen its stock taking a beating. It's down nearly 80% from its
because people are going outside again, slowly, very slowly.
Peak in 2021. It's just that Bumble is struggling more at 93% due to its cultural fatigue factor on top of the wave of dating app fatigue. There are two reasons for this. The first one is more obvious, and the second one I haven't really seen anybody talk about. So factor one first. It's that this overall fatigue is due to dating apps' inherent contradictory revenue model. To get to the bottom of this, we need to first understand how dating apps make money. Contrary to what many believe,
subscriptions
online dating isn't a new phenomenon.
There's a video that I watched about 1.5 years ago that talked about it. Tinder now has, like, a platinum edition for ultra rich people that's like $300 a month or some shit. Yeah, it got shitified, and then they decided to squeeze people because why not? They already have such a fucking visceral not visceral, sorry. They have such a strong grip on the market anyway. No one's really gonna compete with them. It's 500. Well, whatever it is, it's an insane amount. Like, I'm just saying, 500, what's the fucking difference? It's insane.
In 1995, Gary Creeman, a Stanford graduate, had a light bulb moment of why not use the internet to help people find love. At the time, the internet was still a novelty, but dating was expensive. People had to use premium rate phone lines that charged $3 a minute to come up with potential matches.
That's
so
a
Creeman's
lot.
idea was simple: make dating cheaper and more accessible. And that's how Match.com was born. And that became the match group today. The parent of Tinder, Hinge, OkCupid, etc. But there was one problem. Dating apps were too efficient. If people found the perfect match quickly, they'd leave, and fewer users meant less money. So how to keep the users hooked?
They're not McDonald's consumers. They're not always gonna be hungry. If they settle down, that's... Wait, so maybe like in an evil universe, and maybe it's this universe right here, they configure the algorithm to not match you with the person that you want right away. Yeah, engineered to keep people single. How are you gonna prove that, bitch? How are you gonna prove that? You can't.
By putting out a less effective freemium version where the premium features were locked behind a paywall. Want better profiles? Pay up. Unlimited swipes? That will cost extra.
Or even better, you pay per swipe. There's another option for that. Yeah, you get like 100 swipes or some shit for the subscription.
Visibility within the app comes with a price tag. This is why
What?
only $500 a month, aka $6,000 a year tier exists for Tinder. And wow.
What?
Is it?
What?
Well, I know a guy who did it, and he went from 10 to 20 matches every week to 100, to which someone responded, "Oh, you should just pay for sex directly instead."
Bro, that's actually pay to win. Holy shit.
Lol. Sure, a lot of money is to be made.
That's
through this revenue model.
amazing.
The Match Group easily did $3.479 billion in 2024.
That's not much. Going from 10 to 20 to 100, that's insane. I know you're saying like 100 is not that many in the grand scheme of things, but that's a lot in the long term. 100 compared to 10
was a 3.41% increase from
Wow.
3.365
I love going
billion
public.
in 2023. But is this sustainable? Users started experiencing something called the dating app fatigue, where sifting through endless profiles became exhausting. Even when they found a match, there was no guarantee that the other person was looking for the same kind of relationship. The cycle repeats: swipe, match, chat, move on. It doesn't surprise anyone that the global dating app downloads have been falling from 278 million in 2020 to about 237 million in 2020.
That's good. I hope that this is a sign that people are starting to go outside again. I don't have like faith in this, but I don't think this is a bad thing.
But more importantly, is the singlehood epidemic really to be blamed on the bad design of the dating apps or something else? In other words, are dating apps the problem? Or are we the problem? To solve the dating app fatigue for not just Bumble, but for any matchmaking services out there, involve two problems. First is aligning the revenue model of the brand with the success match of the users instead of the continual usage. As long as this is not solved, the apps are just a Trojan horse of dopamine hits of ego validation and meaningless time wasting. Instead of quote unquote for the noble cause of human connection, you can literally do that for free by exiting your door, go outside, touch some grass, instead of going through 300 disappointing pixels of profiles seen on screen.
Yeah, but that requires effort, and also you have to put on your makeup and like also shave if you're a boy, or shave your legs if you're a girl, and also, oh my god, I have to like put gas in the car, and also holy shit, groceries are expensive. Oh fuck. Oh, eating out is expensive too. Fuck, what do I do? Okay, never mind, I'm gonna go back to swiping. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not inherently people's fault. Yeah, it's not.
This, of course, would involve
it's not all their fault.
And recalculations of the cost to host a user before delivering the match results. To factor in covering that through either a fee charged to the user upon successful matching, or an entry subscription fee to incentivize faster matching, or ad placements. But the second
faster matching. It's like the speed pass for Disney World. Oh, you want to go faster? Okay, you have to pay premium. Yep. That's that shit, bitch. Yeah, sit in line and wait.
And one complex problem that no one really talks about is adverse selection in the dating market. This brings back good old memories to game theory and econ class, where more than just a misalignment of user versus brand incentives, we could be looking at a serious information problem. Economist George Akerlof won a Nobel Prize
for
his work
I've heard about this guy
explaining how information problems like this can ruin a market. Classically demonstrated through the second-hand car market example. It is well known that as soon as you drive a new car off the lot, its value drops a fat chunk. For a long time, economists explained this phenomenon by claiming that people just place a premium on having a brand new car. But Akerlof offered a different explanation. Buyers of used cars lack vital information of what they are buying. When you buy a used car, there is always a chance that it could be a lemon, aka the term for a piece of junk. And because of the risk of buying...
My brother's into cars and he's bought a lemon before. Devastating. Bummer.
Buying a piece of junk, buyers don't want to pay top dollars. They will treat every car like a potential lemon and demand a discount, even if the cars they are buying may actually look and run great. And that creates a problem for high quality sellers. Just imagine someone trying to buy the Ferrari you only drove once for $10K. Of course you wouldn't sell. And so, people who do not sell junk will get lowballed, leading to them leaving the market. The result is a market where lemons, aka junk cars, become more prominent. It's a vicious spiral, where as more buyers become more suspicious that every single car is a lemon, they demand further price markdowns, and owners of good used cars become even more unwilling to sell at the lower price. Ultimately, the entire market gets destroyed. No one's buying and no one's selling. Now, putting this in the situation of dating apps, it is very possible that a similar dilemma occurs. A new app starts up and hopeless romantics looking for real love begin flocking to it, but so do sleazy types who lie on their dating profiles. Over time,
oh man, I don't know if she'll talk about this. I doubt it, but hell, can we talk about the fucking bots on the dating apps too? Hello?
Daters go on a bunch of bad dates, encountering people who have no interest in real relationships or whose profiles are completely misleading. So it drives the people looking for high quality, authentic connection out of the market, who might go to a new app with the hopes of finding something better, and the cycle begins again. But one or two bad apples can ruin the whole damn tree. To solve the car problem, warranties exist where companies like Carfax offers trusted information about the history of used cars, which in the case of a job market is like a trial period.
But you can't do that with people because people aren't commodities. That's the fucking problem. That's why we're fucking likening that kind of shit, the cars, which is a valid comparison, the used car market to fucking people.
Or having references, and dating people met organically through friends of friends who have been vetted. But within an app, unless if they can figure out a solution like Airbnb's rating system to bridge the information asymmetry, which
this is what I also had the biggest gripe with. How the fuck do you know that the person that you're matching with isn't a fucking insane fucking motherfucker? And I don't mean like girl or boy, I mean like both. You don't know.
Opens up its own can of worms. The quality of the daters on the app is going to deteriorate if the growth of new users do not match up the churn rate, which is why you often hear or know friends who found their true...
It's just like regular dating. I disagree, because most people I've ever talked to that say that they met people through other friends or through dating, they usually know them somehow. Most of the time, I'm not saying all the time, but I would say a majority of people, it's like, yeah, it's kind of, you meet them and usually through friends or family. That's a majority. Or like a coworker. I don't fucking know. Yo, Blackguard, thank you! Thank you to 10! Thank you so much. Holy moly. Just bought my Smuggle on a Cup and shirt using code SMUG. Yo, Zoji, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Love on apps like Hinge or Tinder when the apps were still good, because the average selection problem is only going to make your chances slimmer and slimmer, unless of course you pay $6,000 to unlock more informational advantage.
$6,000 a year just to date. No, not even just to date. The prospect of dating
On your end.
That's fucked
this is way more
up.
than just a branding problem, but a product problem. However, for our lovely Bumble, having not just a product problem, but also
Yes,
a branding
American
problem
dollars.
puts Bumble in a dangerously fumbling position. So what are some potential branding strategies that could at least alleviate the almost $13 billion of Bumble fumble? So hopefully my
Bumble
stocks
Dumble.
can rise up again. But more importantly, real authentic connection.
What if this is her just trying to like get her stocks up again? This like 45-minute video is her trying to like sign up people into buying Bumble's fucking stocks.
Can actually blossom through
Ain't
the
no
tools.
way.
First, bold new differentiation strategy. The women first branding strategy alone won't cut it. They need a new era definition. Maybe AI-driven matchmaking, exclusivity, or
They already do that, they just don't tell you.
stronger IRL social element. Their biggest branding crisis right now is the lack of a competitive edge. Their whole edge was their woman forward story. Now that's gotten stale and also stepped on by their own genius Rebrand. It's got to shift again. I like the kindness.
Yeah, because frick women, am I right,
prioritization,
fellas?
but it's too vague right now, because at the end of the day, the users are there to solve a problem.
You know what they should do? Rebrand it to like frick women. Yeah, women get demeaned. I'm sure that'll work out.
Focus on solving
Anime
one dating
women
problem
app!
really well for a specific group of people first. Market the hell out of that winner feature before worrying about noble but empty goals like kindness and confusing users with many features like BFF and networking. Second, stronger Gen Z marketing.
Yeah, because Gen Z is the dating market now. All the millennial boomed out women either are conceding to the fact that they don't want to date anymore, or they have 10 cats.
Less corporate, more unhinged TikTok strategy. Think Hinge's voice prompts, but taken further. Make it a brand with personality.
Ooh, this is nice. Girl.
Normies, man.
This audience is you right here? Okay.
Heck, the bee can become its own main character to Duolingo.
Duolingo's funny, though!
The Amelia de Moldenberg collab, perfect, culturally relevant, very, very on brand.
In or out? Okay.
Do more like that. I also think a podcast focused on all the dating tea and
Please, God, no more podcasts. No, that's not what Gen Z wants. Shut the fuck up.
seeking from the actual Bumble users to be super.
That's millennial as fuck.
Obviously, legal
Podcasts
and
are
PR
so
would have more
millennial.
to do, but it creates a real community instead of only using it as a buzzword. I was gonna pull my hair out and really contemplate on a third strategy, but I'm gonna level with you. I've been so jet-lagged and sleep deprived and waking up at 4 every day this week and feel
Oh,
very
poor
brain
girl.
dead at this moment. So if you want more elaborate branding strategies, put that request down in the free email list pre-sign up form. And if you happen to be Bumble or Whitney, just shoot me an email. Happy to chat, happy to do an episode together. This is a critical moment for Bumble.
Nice plug,
They can
nice
either
plug.
reinvent themselves or fade into being just another dating app. To go from $13 billion to 2 to 0.4 to who knows. knows what's next. There's so much
Jesus
potential in the
Christ.
beginning and all the favorable market conditions. It's honestly quite sad to see the once it girl of the apps.
This is just proof that marketing is everything. Even VTubers. Most VTubers, I don't know, I feel like a lot of them probably wouldn't be watched if they didn't have a hot model with fat tits. I mean, what? Sorry, I just don't know what came over me.
The symbol of hope.
I don't know what
for
happened, sorry.
Women-led businesses, women-led tech to go downhill like this. But who knows? Perhaps with the help of AI, product innovations, and shift in branding to re-appeal to Gen Z and Gen Alpha, Miss Bumble can come back stronger.
Miss Bumble? Are you assuming their
let me know in
gender?
the comments. Do you think Bumble fumbled, or do they still stand a buzzing chance? Let me know what brand you like.
That was terrible. I'm reporting you.
Clicking the email list link in the description. If you could share this episode
That was
with someone,
horrendous.
you'd be gifting them the greatest gift to help them grow. And it's completely free to you. This is your marketing bestie, Zoe Unlimited. Episodes are available on all podcast networks, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you next week.
That was a good yap sesh. I know, chat. It was really long, but I like talking about this kind of shit. Fucking corpos making money off of, loneliness and human nature. Absolutely hilarious, in my opinion. Very funny. That corpo shite, that's right, type shit. That's right, for real, no cap. On God. On God, oh God, for real, oh my God.